our past lives are as important as our current soul level decisions that relate to our current life and what's going on with our soul right now in the higher realm. Because, as you all know, and this is why it's so important to understand how to guide past life regression before you come into this kind of level 2 soul regression course, is because our past lives inform our current life. Our past lives show us our karma, our free will missteps, you might say. Our past lives show us our dharma, our accomplishments in past lives. And many clients need to know, well, what happened in the past that makes me nervous about traveling abroad? Or what happened in a past life that makes me nervous? And this is always, I think, pertains to all of us, a group like this. What happened in past lives that makes me, oh, I love this work and it's really, really fascinating, but boy, I'm really scared to put myself out there and be overt and own up to the general public that I have these spiritual beliefs and these spiritual ideas and spiritual understanding. So past life is as important as current life. And as we move through these 3 days, what happens is, as you, I think probably all of you are probably perfectly aware of, this becomes really complex. This is not, past life soul regression training is fairly straightforward. But between lives soul regression training is not straightforward, because it's what do we need to know about the soul, period, because each of your clients is going to access information about their soul. Often they don't even know that information, and they need to know it or their guides wouldn't be bringing it forward. So you can see it's like this, if past life soul regression is this wide in terms of understanding and content, between lives soul regression almost has no boundaries. Okay. And so, as best I can, in the next 3 days, we're going to be learning how to guide BLSR, Between Lives Soul Regression. And yet then you're going to have to trust yourself and trust your client and trust your client's guides, because you can't put this type of work in a box. So when Michael wrote his first books, and I think you all know, Michael was once my mentor, and then we were co-teachers together. When he first wrote his first books, what I really think happened was Spirit was guiding Michael to receive information about the soul of each of the clients he worked with that had some boundaries, some, you might say, contextualization. And yet, at this point in my understanding about Between Lives Soul Regression, it's hard to put context around it, because each client's going to learn exactly what they need to learn about themselves as a soul. And you're going to travel that journey with them. And you're going to find it fascinating. You may find it surprising. And sometimes it's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of a good example, which maybe I'm not going to be able to come up with a very good example. Okay, imagine yourself suddenly, let's just say you're a native English speaker. And I realize there are some of you in this group that are not native English speakers. Let's imagine you're a native English speaker and you come upon a person who speaks Vietnamese, the Vietnamese language. And they're talking, you only speak English, they're talking in Vietnamese, and you don't understand a word. You might get some notion of the look on their face, and you might get some notion of just the feel of it, or you're intuiting something about it, but you won't know. it may sound like a crazy analogy, but I think it honestly, in my experience, is valid. What I'm going to do my best at over the next 3 days is to help you understand what's happening for the client at the soul level when all they're telling you is something about color, or all they're telling you is something about how they feel, um, or they've stepped into darkness and nothing's changing. And of course, that's different than stepping into darkness in a past life. So that's why this is so broad and a little unwieldy, and yet mystical and fascinating and deep and powerful.